they had a reputation, but at that time we'd been travelling pretty good and we'd been winning most all of our games. So we felt pretty confident, but at the same time you respect history, but history doesn't win the game on the day. The thing that we had, which was quite refreshing, was that we weren't carrying any baggage. You know, we hadn't been to the UK before. The majority of the squad were quite young and inexperienced at international level, apart from the Haydens, the Robertsons, and the Bill Osborns and the Brian Williams, Frank Oliver maybe. The rest were just green-faced kids. Jack Gleeson, our coach, decided that because of the pack that we had, which wasn't what you call super world class, it was a good forward pack by All Black standards, but not as good as previous years. So we decided to look at our strengths, and some of our strengths were in the backs. Myself, Brian Williams and Bruce Robertson and Billy Osborne. So we thought, right, let's move the ball around, let's play entertaining football, rugby that we can enjoy, and which the crowd enjoyed initially on. It was actually very, very good. I think they had a very astute and shrewd coach who, from stories that I've read, I mean, they're only stories, you know, that he delivered one of the great team talks to a bunch of Irish boys who are going to go and take on the mighty All Blacks. Well, you know, the old history days, the old Gary Owen, shove it up in the air, put a lot of heat with chasers on it and let the guy that's going to take the ball, well, who wanted it? If it was perfected and honed and born in the Gary Owen and in that area, good luck to them. It worked on the day. I thought Tony Ward kicked pretty well that day. There was a bit of a blustery wind, but it was a nice sunny afternoon. You know, the track was in good nick. And when you get a good kicker from their number 9 and 10, it puts a bit of heat on the back three. We got pressure on us, you know, things weren't working. The backline movement wasn't going as good. The lineouts and scrums were under pressure. You know, we kept finding ourselves down on our own goal line instead of at the other end of the field where you're supposed to score. So things weren't going that good. Maybe we could have grabbed Tony Ward or banged him around, but you know, he's a good player. Let's be honest, we tried to get him without a doubt. If we could just grab him and hold him up into one of our sides of our rucks and give him a fair taste of some 6-inch steel, then we'd let him know that, you know, okay, we're a guest in your country, but we're going to make it doubly hard for you. But we couldn't get to them. Well, we had this little move in the backs which involved me just coming into the back line, a little bit of a few faint deaths and, you know, dummies and that, and throughout the tour it was working quite nicely. So it was a workable move and it was paying off. We just kept rolling it out. So, and unfortunately we got to Munster, and the gap opened up brilliantly as the move's supposed to, except there was this little guy called Seamus Dennison was sitting there in front of me. You know, he just basically smacked the living daylights out of me in a tackle. I sort of dusted myself off and thought, well, I don't really want to do that again, you know, but 10 minutes later, we called the same move thinking, well, we'll just change it slightly, but no, it didn't work and I got hammered again. So 2 belts out of 2 moves, I just said to the guys, no, that's it, you know, I'm out of here for the rest of the afternoon, we'll just keep moving it wide. So they'd done their work. And it was really good, and quite painful, I might add. It was a kick and chase. We scrambled, we made a mistake, we scrambled, we were under a bit of pressure, we didn't handle that pressure, they got a lucky bounce, bang, try, you know. It happens. Yeah, well, coming from a back, you know, you've got to blame the forwards for not giving us protection and enough pill on the day, you know. But, oh, look, you know, the thing is, you know, Donaldson's a good footballer. Eddie Dunn's a good footballer. You know, you've got to look at what our forwards did. We got enough ball. We probably didn't get enough domination and what we should have. Everyone sort of points the finger at us. What we should really be doing is looking at how the Munster guys played. You know, they'd studied us and they went out and just created a little bit of pressure on us, which we hadn't probably faced on that tour so far. Yeah, without a doubt, when we couldn't put them away, we couldn't even get a penalty shot, we couldn't even do a drop goal, we had opportunities to score, but again, their defensive screens were very, very good. They were playing with a huge amount of passion and their confidence levels were growing as each minute passed by, and you know, we threw everything except the kitchen sink of the bus driver and the gear bags. We just couldn't get through, and we thought, heck, how are we going to have it? They went off at half-time thinking, oh, hey, maybe we can roll these guys, and I think that might have actually turned the game for them. And I know that when they came out in the second half, nothing had changed. Maybe we thought that maybe we'll have a crack in the second half. No, second half started exactly the same as the first half. Difficult for us. They held on. Yeah, that was just another bumbling mistake by me that I had that day. You know, it wouldn't be one of your great games that I've played in the black jersey, but again, it was a good kick from Ward. Tony Ward just banged it down. It bounced a little bit, jagged here, jagged there, and I just sort of fell over, stumbled, gathered the ball up, and had a look, and all of a sudden the heat was on me. See, they had good chasers. You know, a kick is a kick, but if you've got lots of good chasers on it, the chasers make the kick look good. Chasers make bad kicks look good. So they had plenty of chasers. I looked up and thought, well, I ain't going to run out of here. So I just dotted down, caused the 5-yard scrum, and Tony Ward banged over a drop goal. So I thought, as we walked back the halfway, I thought, well, I've done my bit. Yeah, that's fantastic, you know. And that was it. That was the game. You know. We thought, well, what are we going to do? I wasn't going to run that ball back out of them because 5 of those mad guys were coming down the track, and I thought, well, I've been hit by these guys all day. I'm not looking after my body, thank you. They just swarmed the pitch, you know. They did, because it's a little small ground at Lomond Park and in Lamerick, and they just swarmed. And I mean, they wanted to touch their players. Normally the crowd would rush out and they'd try and get an autograph of the All Blacks, because 9 times out of 10 the All Blacks would have won. That day they basically just bypassed us and went straight to hug their players. You got to let them have their moment, you know, and that's a moment in Munster Rugby history that is recorded in the books, and it's a talking point from one generation to the other. Those that saw the game were fantastic. Those that played in it was even better. But, you know, the whole area there glow in the warmth that someone's done the job against the Black. No, it was meant purely as a compliment. I mean, we'd been travelling through the UK, and we'd won all our games. We were travelling really good. We had a nice open style, but we'd never met a team that could just get up in our faces and just snot us off the field. They absolutely snotted us in everything. Every time you got a ball, you just didn't get one person tackling you, you got 4. By God, when we lose, we're a bad mother to tangle with afterwards. So when we sat down and studied what went wrong, righto, the old coach got up and said, that was crap. You know, we tried to play open rugby. We got smacked by these kamikaze boys from Munster. That's the end. You know, that's our last loss. We are going to go back to good old-fashioned Kiwi rugby. We're going to play it tight in the forwards. We're going to get our half back and our standoffs to boot the ball down track. And you, Stu Wilson, are not going to run too much with the ball now. All you're going to do is chase it, put a lot of pressure on like Munster did to us, and then say to the opposition, right, get out of this crap. At the end of the day, when we walked off Cardiff Arms Park after beating the Barbarians and completing the Grand Slam tour, we walked in and said, Munster, you may have beaten us, and we may have changed our style, and we may have been really boring, but we won. Their strengths was their unity. Their strengths were that they were playing for Munster. Their strengths were that they had a home crowd and a home game. And that also they took strength that they were playing one of the better sides in the world that had a great tradition and history. And I think that link between Ireland and New Zealand still lives today.